and welcome to Let's Talk Sunday, where we talk about everything under the sun and nothing is off limits. Welcome to Let's Talk Sunday. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Let's Talk Sunday. Let's Talk Sunday is a show where we talk about everything and nothing is off limits, okay? So, my name is Sharise Johnson Moore, and I am the CEO and executive producer and host of Let's Talk Sunday program. And today we have a special guest. Her name is Deborah Jefferson. She is an author. She is a poet. She is a motivational speaker. She is an advocate for domestic violence. And today we're going to talk about the things that we need to be aware of when it comes to the signs and the understanding of learning about domestic violence in our lives or around us that could possibly have us in a tizzy, when it comes to life's situations.
Baby, I need your touch, unforgettable kisses. Your love's never too much, that's why I want all of the pieces.
To say it has been an honor and a privilege to have you here. So tell us a little about yourself and what inspired your journey.
All right. Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much for having me, Miss Sharise. I appreciate you for having me on the show. And yes, my name is Deborah Jefferson, and I am, I like to say I'm a woman of many hats. I do just a little bit of everything. But yes, what inspired me on my journey to do the things that I do, I have just grown through many situations and many trials, and I like to share with others my journey so that I can help them on their journey as they're going through different things, whether it be through my books or my poetry or through the different events that I put on or me participating in other people's events. I like to share my story so that I can help someone else on their journey.
Amen. I know that's right. It is a thing where, it is important for us to really get an understanding of of this thing we call life.
Yeah.
And sometimes we go through life and we're not taught certain things. We're not taught, how to deal with relationships. We're not taught to deal with the opposite sex. We're not taught, the different things of aspects that protect us, from certain behaviors and certain people and certain mannerisms. So what significant life experiences have shaped you into the person you are today?
Well, I would say that the thing that shaped me, I wasn't an only child, but I kind of sort of grew up that way because I'm the baby of the family and the only
Mm-hmm.
girl. My older brothers are like 10 and 12 years older than me. So that is over a decade. So that yeah, it's a big age gap. We didn't play together and
Mm-hmm.
none of that stuff. So that definitely shaped my upbringing. I was the baby of the family. So I had to go around and play with and I didn't really have any younger cousins either because I'm the youngest of that section as well because my mom is the baby of her generation, her siblings, and then I'm the baby of all the cousins. So they
Oh.
were all, they're all a lot older than me. So
Mm-hmm.
like I grew up, the one that cousin that I grew up with is my cousin's child. So, me and him kind of grew up together, like almost like he was kind of like my little brother.
Mm-hmm.
So those are the different. That's how I kind of grew up. So I didn't grow up in the typical way. And then I was a military brat as well. So I
Mm-hmm.
had that little bit of upbringing growing up. where my parents, but then they got out of the military when I was in early elementary school as well. So a
Mm-hmm.
lot of the things that my brothers experienced with that, I
Mm-hmm.
did not experience. Yeah, the furthest I lived outside of the country, which back then it kind of wasn't, was the Panama Canal.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, like
Mm-hmm.
they went, which Alaska wasn't out of the country. They went to Alaska, and it just different odd places that people would live. The experiences and things like that I didn't get to experience.
Mm-hmm.
But still, a lot of that shaped my upbringing because a lot of things, childhood things I may not even remember because I was just so little. With a lot of the moving around,
Mm-hmm.
that definitely had a significant impact on my upbringing, all the moving around. Because
Okay.
even as I grew up and married and divorced, still kept moving around.
Okay. All
It's
right.
just like it was just ingrained in my brain for a
Yeah.
little while.
Mhm.
Hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know
Hmm.
how that is. They're up and moving around, moving around.
Yeah. I want to move.
Like
I want to
like a
go somewhere.
restless, yeah, like a restless spirit.
Yes.
So,
Hmm.
who or what has been the greatest influence in your life and why?
The greatest influence in my life, I would say, kind of a two part, or I won't say a two person because I would say my mother and my grandmother. So it's her mother, my maternal grandmother, and my
Mm-hmm.
mother,
Yes.
because obviously she had my mother and raised her, and at a certain part, a larger portion of my life, we lived with my grandmother.
Mm-hmm.
So she had a huge part of my upbringing.
Mm-hmm.
And so she was, we called her Big Big. She was everybody's mama, like on the movie Soul Food.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that was Big Big.
Mm-hmm.
She said we all, loved her. She was a straight shooter, but she was
Mm-hmm.
very kind and loving. Give you the shirt off of her back.
Yes.
She was that woman. But she loved everybody. So
Mm-hmm.
she had a significant, part in my upbringing and raising me and just teaching me how to treat people, how to, care for people, be there for one another, and just how to treat your family, how to treat your friends. I just
Mm-hmm.
never that how she was there for me. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm,
That's right.
yeah.
So, how has your faith played a role in your personal and professional life?
Ooh, now that I'll tell you, child. Yes, you see that expression on my face. Yes, my faith, girl. I'm telling you, my faith has played a significant role. My faith in Christ. Let me just put that out there because everybody believe in who they believe in.
Mm-hmm.
And Jesus Christ has played a significant role in my life through the years because I've gone through some things and some trials and some tribulations. I'm telling you,
Mm-hmm.
and, and I know it wasn't nothing but the Lord that
Right,
brought me
right,
through.
right.
Like it wasn't
Mm-hmm.
nothing but God that brought me through them situations.
Mm-hmm.
And I came from things in childhood, adulthood, middlehood, all the hoods.
Yeah, right. Mm-hmm.
I know it wasn't nothing but Him that brought me through. And I
Amen.
thank Him for that. And they say all you need sometimes is the faith the size of a mustard seed.
I know, right?
And that's
I
sometimes
know,
all
right?
you need. And
That's
he
all
he
you
knows
need.
he's right. That's just that little bit. Just that little
Mm-hmm.
bit.
Yeah,
He
that little
knows
bit.
he can feel it. That's all you need. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, my faith is strong. My faith game is strong. I might fall a little weary sometimes, be honest,
Yeah,
100% transparent, but
yeah.
it don't never go away completely. It ain't never going nowhere completely. It's always gonna be there.
I know,
Yeah.
right? I know. So, what scripture or spiritual practice has the most meaning to you in your life?
I would say Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength,
Mm-hmm.
and keep that with me
Mm-hmm.
because no matter what I'm going through, He gives me strength to go through it. Like I can feel like I'm at my lowest low, or like just something or whatever is just taking over me, or just
Mm-hmm.
like, "Girl, I'm gonna get out of this,"
Mm-hmm.
and fight this or them or whoever, whatever it is, and He give me strength. Yeah, He
Right.
give me strength to get out of it.
Yeah,
Exactly.
okay. Come on. Come on. Come
He
on.
give
We're
me
going to Mike
strength.
Tyson. We're going to do some Mike Tyson
Right,
today, right?
exactly. Like He give me strength to get out of it. Somehow I'm
Right.
like, Lord, how in the world
Mhm.
did we do this? It was nothing but Him.
Yeah, yeah. Child, I've been in some stuff in my life I did not think I would walk out of alive.
Yes,
And
Exactly.
somehow God makes that path, and he'll speak smack dead to you in that moment and tell you walk away or
Mm,
leave
right.
or take up your bed and walk.
Right. Yeah. Get up and walk.
Get up and walk. Hey, you don't gotta stay here. This ain't where I want you to be. No way. You know,
Right.
you know. And sometimes
Exactly.
we just have to heed what he telling us.
Right.
And sometimes we can avoid a lot of stuff we
Not being hard
experienced
headed.
if we were just listening.
Yes.
We would
Yes.
just listen.
Mm,
But sometimes love comes and plays that role in our life
mm,
where we've seen our parents
right.
get together in
Yes.
their relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And then we think, okay, I don't want to leave this person and I don't want to, you see they bad habits and
Right.
we see
Exactly.
what their lifestyle is about. And
Right.
because no one has sat and taught us
Right.
about how to have, well, we would call them standards, what
Right.
you will
Right. That's
accept
what that
and
word
what you
was.
won't
Like a
accept,
buzzword.
right? What you won't accept, what you will.
Right.
Um, and by us not being taught about that, that
Mm-hmm.
makes us stay with that person, even
Right.
though we know they ain't no good for us.
Right, exactly. You
You
stay
know,
in it and you know you should have got out a long time. You know you should have never even got in it.
right?
You
Say
was too young to be
what
getting
was
in.
like what was I thinking? Like,
Right,
and
exactly.
and the older we get, we be like, man, I sure was stupid.
Right. Like what was I
What
thinking
was I
about?
thinking about? I
Exactly.
clearly didn't have my head attached to my
Right.
shoulders.
Like I had no business doing that when I
Right?
was that age or whatever. I ain't had no
Hmm.
business.
Right, right. So can you
Mhm.
share a moment when you felt God's presence guiding you?
Ooh, there's been so many moments. But I'll go with a more recent, kind of recent moment when God had to step in
Hmm.
and truly guide me out of a situation. Um, it's when I would say I'll take it back to when I was getting out of my situation with my book Rose Wrapped in Thorns. 'Cause I'll be honest, that's the last relationship I've allowed myself to be in. Just just dealing with. I'm just taking some time for me now.
Hmm. I know.
But I would say when I was getting out of that relationship, God truly had to guide me the whole way through because
Hmm.
I was hard headed for a minute,
Yeah.
oh God, I got it,
Hmm.
yeah, it's gonna be all right, but
Yeah.
I had to, just like we had to I say me and God, we was in this thing together.
Hmm.
But but we had to be strategic, methodically, kind of like maneuver because
Yeah.
I couldn't just everybody's like, why you didn't just do this, do this? It wasn't like that,
Hmm.
I had to like I said, I had to plan. I had to stay a step ahead. But I had to listen to the Lord also. 'Cause, sometimes you just jump and do it your way, it ain't
Hmm.
gonna make you might not survive that way.
Right.
You,
Right.
you might be unalive. You might not
Yeah.
make it.
Yeah.
So I had to be very careful. Like I got family, I got help, children, parents and stuff, to come home to.
Yeah.
So, God was with me in that situation and he helped
Hmm.
me think of the right way to get home. Without I didn't involve my family, didn't let them know exactly how it was. Till I made it safe home with them. And I
Yeah.
trusted God and he led me every step of the way on
Hmm.
how to get out of that situation. And he actually seemingly he took the person out of the situation for me. I
Right.
prayed.
Right.
I was packing my
Right.
stuff, getting ready to go, had my U-Haul and everything before I
Uh-huh.
could even get the U-Haul. The Lord had took him out. I technically, honestly, could have kept my apartment and stayed,
Yeah.
but I had made preparations to come on home.
Yeah.
But God,
Right.
I'm doing this. I got this, And I
Right.
got
Right.
yeah. So
Hmm.
trust him. You just
Yeah.
trust him.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah.
So The one question
Mm-hmm.
that I have for you is, what was your first experience with domestic violence?
I would say, because a lot of people don't think about the mental, but domestic violence is more physical. But the mental, I went through, a lot of domestic violence, growing up, parents arguing, fighting, and stuff like that. But as
Mm-hmm.
far as me personally, my
Mm-hmm.
marriage wasn't even physical. It was just a lot of, emotional, abuse, which is still not to be taken lightly.
Yes.
But as far as physical, it was, the last, dating relationship that I recently, got out a couple of years ago.
Mm-hmm.
That was my first experience of physical domestic violence, and that I was in my 40s. I had went through a whole marriage and never been physically assaulted at all. Yeah, I say assault. I
Mm-hmm.
have to call it what it is,
Yes.
and had never gone through it
Mm-hmm.
then. And that's why a lot of people say, "Girl, I did this. You didn't do that. You did that." I had and literally. I was in shock.
Mm-hmm.
I literally, as it happened, like and I talk about this. It's like I couldn't believe it was happening. I literally. It's like I was down on the floor, but it's like I literally like I was looking at myself, like
Yeah.
I wasn't that wasn't me.
Like, I
Wait, did
can't
this
believe I'm down here.
this
What in the
really happen?
world?
Me down there, like
Oh,
that
wait a
really
minute.
happen?
It's like an
What?
out of body experience.
Took the words right out of my mouth. Exactly,
Uh-huh.
and I was like, did this really happen?
Yeah, right.
Like what?
Like
And
they'll start with their verbal
right, yeah, the
and the
verbal,
verbal.
when we did the art and all that stuff, I'm like, okay, I could handle. I had learned how to handle that.
Yeah.
And I had
Yeah.
learned. I trained myself how to go toe to
Yeah.
toe with that.
Yes.
So I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, I'm gonna thrive in this environment. I ain't gonna just, sit back and just listen, this time. I
Uh-huh.
trained myself. Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
So I'm like, I ain't gonna do that. This I ain't gonna. I'm gonna go toe to toe. I'm gonna show anybody gonna talk to me any kind of way. I'm like,
Uh-huh.
okay.
Yeah.
And then but it never hadn't gotten physical. So I'm like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Then that one day, all out the blue,
Right.
and that was like, what?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And yeah, and that's why I was like, oh, okay, Deborah, yeah, you dealing with something else now. You
Right.
dealing with
Yeah.
something totally. Yeah, you dealing with something else now. Something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Mm-mm.
so in that, how long did you deal with that? How long did you, deal with that relationship like that?
Uh, that actually, I remember the dates because that actually happened on September 11th. So it was, obviously a significant date because you
Mm-hmm.
all know what September 11th is for the country.
Yeah.
It happened on the morning of September 11th. So I was out of there in November.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was November the 18th or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I was back home here.
Okay. Uh-huh.
Yeah. So, and that was the only physical. Like after that, it was still some more arguing, but it wasn't no
Mm-hmm.
more physical. But it's like I guess I was trying to like playing my cards right, and I kept my little stuff under my pillow, in case he tried again or
Mm-hmm.
whatever, stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, you might be afraid of me, and like whatever. I'm like, but I kept those extra measures, got me
Yeah.
some mace and stuff like that. He's
Mm-hmm.
big, 6 foot
Yeah.
7, fine, but 5'5",
Yeah.
like
Right. Right.
and I'm like, okay, I gotta get in survival mode, because I didn't want to go
Yeah.
to no shelter. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't want to go to no friend's house. I had offers. I did. I'll be honest. I had places to go, but I
Yeah.
wasn't gonna leave my stuff, and that's
Right.
crazy,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
mindset, But
Yeah.
yeah, couple months, I was out of there, and he knew he had to go too. So, but because his situation, he couldn't just up and leave because his legal situation. So I
Yes.
put it that way. Yeah, he couldn't
Yeah.
just up and leave, and
Yes.
that was another problem where I couldn't
Yeah.
just put him out.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
To
Mm-hmm.
be frank here, I honestly couldn't just put him out. I went to the
Yeah.
courts and
Yeah.
all that.
Oh. Okay.
Couldn't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was stuck between a rock and a hard place.
Mm-hmm.
They said, oh, you ain't married, just put them so and so out. I won't use
Mm-hmm.
no other word.
Yeah.
I
But
couldn't.
because of his situation, he had
No,
to
not
be there.
he had to have a place, but because
Yeah.
of check your state laws, ladies. Even if you're not legally married to the person, check your state laws.
Uh-huh.
A person can stay with you and get mail and pay any kind of bill, They stay with you over 30 days. Check your
That's
state law.
it, right? That's it, right?
We had to go to the courts and get an eviction paperwork and draw up this paperwork and all
Hmm.
kinds of stuff
Yeah.
to put somebody out. So it's not that simple,
Yes.
But by the time
Oh,
I would
it's
have
not.
done all that, he, got on out the door anyway,
Yeah,
But
right.
yeah, I was like, you
Hmm.
mean to tell me I can't just put, even the police was like, no, ma'am, he can do whatever he want. He can't do.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it was a whole ordeal.
You know, in our experience with domestic violence, now that we have experienced that kind of experience with hands on, touchy, feel it, pushy.
Right,
Mine was I. It doesn't matter what phase that domestic violence was in, whether it was pushing or being verbally abusive or things like that, and then they get their hands on, want to throw blows and all that.
right.
Um, cause I experienced that with my first husband,
Okay, okay.
and when I experienced that, I did not know he would cross the street smoking crack with the lady across the street, and that
Right.
kind of changed his mindset. And one
Mm-hmm.
day he came back across the street to the house, and I was sitting there, just minding my business. And I
Mm-hmm.
was like, okay. So he just started going babbling on about blaming me for messing up his life and this and that. It was all my fault and this and the other. And I
Yeah.
said, you a grown man.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You got choices you make. You make these choices and they're yours. They not nobody else's. Girl, what I say that for? Boy, I knew it. My glasses was off my
Mm-hmm.
face.
Oh
I
my
was getting
goodness.
punched in the eye.
Lord.
By the time he finished, both my eyes were black and my nose was busted.
Oh my goodness.
And
Lord.
I and and that shocked me that he would
Mm.
turn on me like that.
Right.
And um I just knew it was time to go.
Exactly.
Time to go.
Yeah.
I was in Tuskegee, Alabama at the time.
Oh
Tuskegee
goodness.
ain't got but the college,
I
and
was
it's
saying
rural.
country. Mm.
Country, girl, country.
Oh my goodness.
You know how you got to go down the road and you ain't got no lights? That kind of country,
Oh
right?
my goodness. Yes.
So ain't
Lord.
got no lights on the road, just straight darkness, right? And
Uh-uh.
so after that incident,
Mm-hmm.
I decided it's time me. I didn't want to deal with that no more. So I walked down. His grandparents lived down the road.
Okay.
We could walk and be there in like 5-10 minutes, cause
Okay.
they
Cut
live
through
this
here
they
and
lived
there.
on a road, and you walk up the road and you run right into their house when you come up the
Okay.
road from my house, from where we were living at.
Okay.
And
Okay.
so um when I walked in, grandma answered the door. His grandma.
Right.
These his grandparents.
Oh, okay. So now,
That we were down there with his family. We down there with his dad's parents.
okay.
And his grandparents from his mother's side stayed there in
Right.
Tuskegee, Alabama.
Okay.
And went in the house, walked in the door, and she said, that astonished look, like,
Right. What happened?
what in the
Yeah.
world happened, right? And I asked her, I said, Miss Moore, Mother Moore, can I use the phone so I can call my grandma, please?
Right.
And she said, yes, ma'am, you can use the phone. Granddaddy came around the corner. He walked with me to the house. My husband walked with me to the house. And
What?
he walked me to the house like
Like nothing.
nothing happened.
You ain't done nothing.
And then his ooh, child, I remember these words vividly. His granddaddy looked at me, then looked at him, and looked at me and
Right.
said, if you got to do this to her, you don't need to be with her.
Right. Exactly.
You don't have no
Exactly.
right. What made you think you had the right to put your hands on her like that?
Exactly.
I know she ain't beating her own self up, you
Exactly.
know.
Exactly.
And so Called grandma. I said, Grandma, can you give me a bus ticket, please, right now, today, as soon as possible? Grandma said, okay, I get you the ticket. Let me go ahead and do that, and I'll call you back. I gave her the number to their grandparents' house. So she called me back and said, okay, your ticket, you leave tomorrow. Well, no, it was like a week from that point. I left, a week after this
Right.
incident happened. But between that time, I decided to go stay with his cousin, which I ain't know she was a crackhead.
Okay.
And
See.
that was another situation. Cause I working, I found a job at the university working cafeteria. So,
Right.
and and then I found out I was pregnant before I left.
Oh my
I
God.
said, okay,
Lord.
Lord, I'm gonna just do this. So I
Right.
go back to my grandma's house and have my son, my youngest boy, and
Okay.
the middle child. So
Right.
and and I realized from that point on, I was never gonna let a man put his hands on me.
That's right.
We will
Exactly.
both be in here dead.
I know that's
So if
right.
you lay your hands, I'm gonna look, I'm gonna be like Medea. I'm gonna lay some steel in you,
Right. A piece of
right?
steel. Right.
Something, a piece of
Got
steel,
me a
piece
piece
of
of
something,
steel.
because
Mhm.
you're just not going to come into my
Right.
space and destroy my spirit, my
Your whole
body,
right.
and
Exactly. Your morale,
yeah.
everything. Mhm.
So how did you go through the process of recovery from that?
Well, initially when it happened, like I said, after I don't want to say I wasn't in shock the whole time. After it happened, I started getting in survival mode. I kept Mace with me. My supervisors, they were so close to me. They
Mm-hmm.
met me at the store up the street. They went and got it for me. And little small cans,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Keep on the
They went and
keychain.
yeah, they went and got
Yeah.
it for me, and
Uh-huh.
I said like maybe like 6 cans in the pack. And they
Yeah.
went and got it for me. Met me up the street one night when he was at work, and I happened to have a car that night. And so I took him to work, and then I stopped by there because he timed me. See, he timed me from
Mm-hmm.
yeah, he timed me from going dropping him off to get back home. He knew how long it took me to get everywhere. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so I met them in the vicinity of the apartment. Got
Mm-hmm.
to make. I kept that with me. I kept some up on my pillowcase.
Mm-hmm.
I had a little pair of needle nose pliers. And one night he coming in trying to get a pillow out the room and saw him and tell me why you got this. You ain't gotta be scared of me or whatever. I was like, anybody scared of you, but I still had me some protection,
Right?
Like I'm gonna have something.
Right?
You'll
Mm-hmm.
catch me off guard, and next time you caught me off guard. That time,
Yeah. Yeah,
I just
yeah.
was a little dumbfounded. Like I ain't think,
Yeah.
it really is. But
Mm-hmm.
I kept that stuff with me. I kept
Mm-hmm.
so I kept in my purse everywhere, wherever I was, some in the
Yeah.
car everywhere. Cause when
Right?
I ain't never know when, you never
Mm-hmm.
know when to look in.
Yeah.
And that's how for the next few months, that's how I walked around. That's how I lived.
Yeah.
Just basically on pins and knees, on eggshells, not
Mm-hmm.
knowing you're gonna blow up again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So how did you walk away from that relationship?
I knew I didn't want to go through that no more. So I
Look,
I
I'm
ain't
sorry.
re- I okay for one, okay, I tell the truth. We weren't married, I'm
Yes.
divorced, so and that was my first relationship out of a long term relationship after
Yeah.
my divorce. So
Mm-hmm.
but we were living together, whatever, but we thankfully I didn't have to go through no divorce papers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I knew I didn't go through this in my marriage, physical abuse.
Right?
I just ain't finna,
Mm-hmm.
go through it. I ain't
Yeah.
got no children with, I ain't got no nothing with, no.
Yeah.
So I knew then I had to figure out how to go, but it wasn't that easy. I
Yes.
had, like I said, it was all kind of stuff getting in my way. He was in the system, so I couldn't just put him out for their sake. He had to get permission to move from
Mm-hmm.
them leg monitor stuff, and then even though he wasn't on the lease,
Yeah.
by law, I could not just put him out. I had to go try to get eviction notices and wait 30 days, 50, all this stuff because he got mail there, so the
Yes.
police, yeah, so it was not
Mm-hmm.
that easy. And
Mm-hmm.
honestly, I just kept praying and praying and, all kind of stuff. and he did some crazy mess and got himself, to where he had to go. Basically, went on the run. He back in jail now. So I can say he ended up going back on the run,
Uh-huh.
and God excluded him. I was pregnant. I had to already like talk to the landlord, let her know, look, this is the situation. I
Yeah.
know maybe the police been back and forth, so I know they're gonna let the office know
Mm-hmm.
already anyway.
Yeah.
So like, look, I need to figure out something, either move to a 1 bedroom by myself or figure out
Mm-hmm.
something. I got to
Yeah.
get this person out. So
Yeah.
they worked with me, and they came in and put the move out procedures in place. And so as I was doing that, he was preparing to leave too at the same time. And then, like I said, he ended up leaving on the run and everything. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, so it's like we was both leaving at the same time. But I had already set in place, like, look, I got to get out of here.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I actually left one time. I left that October because we
Mm-hmm.
assaulted September.
Mm-hmm.
September 7th to be exact, 9
Yeah.
11.
Yeah.
And then I left I think sometime in October because it was near his birthday. I
Uh-huh.
left, packed my stuff, had a police escort and everything. They don't help you take your stuff to the car, nothing, nothing.
No, they don't.
They don't. And I'm like,
What's the purpose of y'all being here then?
right.
Right?
Like, so they can't help you, they can't do this. And I'm like,
We just here for protection.
yeah, exactly.
Like,
So,
you got all these
yeah,
muscles over here,
right.
but you can't help me move the stuff. Right?
Exactly. Like we can't do that, man. So they just literally just stand around while I'm dragging all
Mm-hmm.
my computer,
I mean, you
everything.
see me struggling. You see me
Yes,
struggling, right?
exactly. You still just standing there just watching, you
Right?
just sitting
Yeah.
around and just watching.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I ain't gonna bother. She ain't gotta leave. I ain't gonna do nothing to her. And being all arrogant, but I
And
got
then,
my stuff.
yeah, and
Yeah.
in the back of your mind, you be like, look, I got to hurry up. I got to
Yeah,
hurry
hurry
up
up.
and
Hurry
get
up.
away from you because you got
Right.
issues.
Exactly.
And I don't know what your mindset is. I don't know, soon as the
Mhm.
police could leave, you turn
Right.
around and come on and punch me in my face. Cause
Exactly. Right.
my
Yeah.
my husband did that to me.
Okay.
As
Okay.
soon as he came on my job, I working at the bookstore, the Tuskegee at the school bookstore, and I had a
Yeah.
job. And look, this is so funny. The town's so small. The lady
Right.
was living across the street from us. Her mother
Mm.
was the person that did the hiring at the bookstore. That's how I got the job.
Oh. Okay. Okay. Right.
And he came in there, he would come in the bookstore and he would come in there and be all riled up. You gotta come on right now. Da, 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 da.
Mhm.
And I'm like, the lady in the lady hired me, she was standing there. Then you got, like interns, students that
Mhm.
come in there work, and the other lady going in
Right.
the back. They come out to find out who's doing all the screaming and stuff. And girl, he
Mhm.
made me lose my job.
Oh my goodness.
The lady said, excuse me, Sharise, I know that you work here and everything, but we can't have that kind of behavior at our store.
Mhm.
And he made
Yeah.
me lose my job. I'm glad I went and found another one working at the cafeteria at the college.
Oh,
He
okay.
coming in, want to come in there and start a ruckus. He want to come in there with this girl he was seeing. Oh,
Right.
I'm seeing somebody else, and I'm gonna throw her
Right.
in your face. And I'm
You
like,
gonna
girl,
get
take that problem with you. Can have that, okay? He your
right.
problem now. He ain't mine,
Just take him, get him out of my space.
man. Look, and it's just I went through some stuff with man. I went through some stuff,
Right.
and I wouldn't wish none of that on no woman.
Nobody I know, not my
I
worst
wouldn't wish
enemy.
that on no
Mm.
woman. So, have you ever experienced somebody else going through that situation? Have you experienced somebody else going through that situation in your presence?
Oh, well, not in front of me. I mean, I grew up, my parents did, fight when I was younger,
Yeah.
they went through their
Mm-hmm.
stuff.
Yes, ma'am.
But as an adult, and some of that I blocked out some, and they still married, still together, old folks
Yeah.
do,
Yeah. They ain't
still,
leaving nobody.
still together. Like,
They
okay, so,
still got y'all.
so still together.
Uh huh.
Yeah, like, as far as, in adult life, like I have friends that have gone through, stuff, and I've seen their, like their their scratches or whatever, stuff on their face
Yeah.
and stuff. But
Yeah.
as far as like seeing them actually in the act or whatever,
Yeah.
no, I haven't actually seen a
Mm-hmm.
woman actually, or a man or whatever, getting actually
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
beaten. And I know that would be horrible. Like just like I said,
Yeah.
and I felt like I was looking at myself, I would know how
Right?
that. I could imagine looking at somebody else,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't even like hearing people argue.
Ooh, child. Y'all, I don't either.
I,
Um,
mm-mm.
yeah. As a child, I was growing up, and I stayed with my grandparents.
Right.
And my mother lived in Detroit, Michigan with her husband. And she would come
Okay.
visit. But her
Mm-hmm.
thing was, I gotta get drunk. I gotta get attention from folks. And when my daddy come over, she wanna get so drunk, she won't fight my daddy. And I was like, my daddy was like, I don't come over here for all that. I don't come
Right.
over here for all that. I come over here to spend time with you while you visiting, but I ain't got to put up with your foolishness.
Right.
And it was really kind of embarrassing to see my mama like that. But she would
Yeah.
get drunk and sit there, and then she want to talk smack to
Right.
people and talk down to people, and
Mm-hmm.
then is I gotta have all this attention and things like that. And I was like, really? And it kind of, I realized I realized my mama. I didn't realize my mama went through so much stuff as a child.
Right.
And they bring that childhood pain into their adult life.
Right.
And I
That
had
they don't
repeated the
talk about.
cycle. I had
Mm-hmm.
repeated the cycle with my kids, and I didn't
Right.
realize that until after my mama sat me down and had a conversation about her life,
Uh-huh.
and she was, telling me all this stuff. I
Mm-hmm.
realized she's still in pain from the stuff she experienced as a kid.
Yes.
She's still
Yeah.
in that pain, in that mindset of, you know the pain. She's still walking
Still
around.
hurt
She
and
never got
angry.
time to. She never healed. She never, and and then so seeing her in that frame of mind, I thought that's how a woman was supposed to act. That was
Right.
my grandma didn't act like that. My grandma ain't drink. She ain't do no drugs. She ain't do none of that. My grandma just OCD, all
Right.
clean all the time.
Right.
And my grandma gave me value and structure.
Right.
My
Right.
mama, she showed, if you don't have value and structure, this is what happened to your life.
Right. And so you got to see both.
And um, you know, I was kind of raised with that kind of violence in my family. Cause my daddy
Right.
would get drunk, and he get drunk, and he won't fight people too.
Right. Hmm.
And I'm thinking this normal. This
Right.
normal. This normal. Normal when we get older. This is what we both do.
Right.
But like I said, the older I got, I understood. No, that's not how we're supposed to act. You
Exactly.
know,
Right. Hmm.
we walk around with this pain. We do drugs. We smoke weed. We smoke crack. We do heroin. We do all these things to mask
Yeah.
all this pain we're walking around with.
Right.
And um, you know, and so um, in your new walk in life,
Hmm.
how have you transitioned from being in survival mode into your new life of I don't have to live like that no more?
I definitely have. I can say I'm more free. I have more freedom to just be. If I
Hmm.
don't want to do this, I don't have to do it. If I don't want to do that, I don't have to do it. I
Yeah.
don't have to worry about, if I'm going to the store, am I going to be back in time enough? Or, how long it's going to take me for to get, I don't have to worry
Hmm.
about all the constraints. I
Yeah.
don't got to walk around
Yeah.
on eggshells.
Yes.
Yeah. And yeah, I'm good.
Right. Be
I
like,
don't walk around
I
on
could
no
take.
eggshells.
Look, I ain't got to rush. I ain't got to take my. I ain't got
Right.
to look at no clock. I ain't got to run in the
Yeah.
store and run back out. And
Right, you can
because
time me, honey. You
yeah,
can time me. I be on homework. You ain't left at the job yet? I'm leaving out. I'm clocking out. I'm telling everybody bye. What
Uh-huh.
take you to, like, literally, you going to be home by now. Literally had me time. And I'm like, I ain't even go through that in my marriage now.
Right?
Like,
Like
he was
what did
jealous.
it?
I mean, my ex-husband was jealous now, but I ain't,
Yes.
it wasn't quite that. Like, like,
Yeah, that
golly,
possessive, that kind
what
of
did I step
possessiveness.
into? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
And
it's a whole
so
can of worms.
yeah, and so being in that type of relationship, how has it changed your perspective of being in a relationship?
At one point, I'll be honest, at one point I ain't want no man to look at me. Don't look my way. Like literally, like no, don't even literally, don't even look my way. Like,
Right?
before they even say nothing, don't even look my way. That's literally how
Turn
I
your
felt.
head. Turn your head.
Right. That's literally how I felt. Like,
Yeah.
but like I've grown, because I've grown, and like through my writing and working through things, I have worked through a lot in those areas. I have not given up on relationships or whatever, or love.
Mm-hmm.
I have dated a little bit here and there,
Yeah.
but as far as like trust, I won't say my trust issues. I won't say that I have trust issues. I will say that I'm more cautious. I'm more cautious
You
now.
like looking for them red signs, them red flags, like,
Yes,
let me see what's
yes,
gonna happen now,
yes.
even
Mm,
though we say we don't live in survival mode, it has taught us to really pay attention to the
right.
persons and their action, and do their actions meet their
Yes,
words.
exactly. Exactly.
And because it's this thing of we walk from one bad relationship into another bad relationship.
Right.
And then after we done had so many of them bad relationships, we like, no, I'm good, bro. I don't want no relationship, no,
Mm,
because you feel like
you don't want to go through that no
you
more.
you don't want to, you don't want to go through that mindset that it's
Mhm.
called the end game, that mind game, that how they have minefields in the water, and you got big
Right.
battleship. You play
Yeah,
battleship.
exactly. You playing Battleship. I don't want to play Battleship no more. I don't want to play the game no more.
I want to play that game, right?
Like Jumanji. I don't want to play the game no more.
Right? Like
Let me out.
where did rhinos come from?
Right.
You know,
Exactly. Let me out of
wait,
here.
wait a minute, where the elephant? Then you see the stalk flying
Exactly. Like, where
around,
this come from? Right. Let
right?
me out of here. I don't want to play the game no more.
Right. And how and living in this new you,
Mhm.
your how are you, how are you liking the new you?
I'm loving the new me because the new me ain't taking no mess. Yes, girl. Ain't taking no mess, honey.
Right?
Like, yeah, like I've had a few gentlemen callers,
Yes.
like if they talking some mess. I'm quicker. I'm
Pump the
quicker to
brakes.
give them the hand now. I'm a lot quicker with it now.
Right?
My game a little quicker now.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that commercial, you gotta be quicker than that. Yeah, I'm
Hmm.
a little quicker now.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm good. Like, take it or leave it. I ain't out there looking. I used to be online, this day, online dating is typical in our area. And and I was like, I ain't doing none of that no more. I don't care about none of that stuff no more. I'll be good by myself right now. Like, because it's just too much drama, too many lies. They can say they want to be a Christian, or they can say they looking for marriage, say they want to be in a committed relationship, and
I'm
they
a
just
man. I'm a God fearing man.
yeah, girl, that's a good one. Yes,
Yes.
exactly. I'm a God fearing man. I want me a good Christian woman. Okay, yeah, but you want me to do other stuff though. But you want a good Christian woman though. Like, come on,
Yeah.
them two don't go together.
Right.
So
That
yeah,
don't
I'm
match.
trying to do right, but then you got this over here trying to make me do wrong.
Right.
So look, I'm like, I'm
Talking about
good with
send me some sexy pictures. Can I get a picture of you?
girl.
I
Yes,
be
I was
like,
like,
dude, I don't
so
even know
many.
you. I don't know
Right.
you like that.
Exactly. Like, and somewhere I read somewhere that, but that's even a control thing. They just want to see if you're gonna do it. They just want to see if you gonna send them the pictures.
Right? I'd be like,
What do
excuse
you
me, but
mean, honey?
I don't send pictures. I don't send no pictures.
Exactly.
I
Mm-mm.
don't do pictures.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah, when
just
I was
kind of,
a little green, not them kind of pictures now, but I said, regular partner pictures. But I got to make that clear. That a disclaimer.
I
I
don't
ain't sending
send.
them kind of
Look,
pictures.
look. I learned that the
I
hard
won't
way a
get that
long time
clear.
ago about them
Cause
special
I ain't you ain't
pictures.
putting me on the internet.
You hello,
I might have been a little
right?
naive, but you ain't putting me on the
Look,
internet.
and look, you ain't gonna steal my picture, make no profile either,
Right, that too. True. That's true
right?
too.
Cause
Gotta be sure about that. But like, dang, now I know that ain't me, but that's my picture.
no,
Yeah.
and I'll be like, and so with that being said,
Yeah.
yeah. So after that period of time, how did you come out of survival mode?
Mm, how did I come out of survival mode?
Yeah,
It was a while because even after I came home,
yeah,
and of course I was in my, I would say depression mode or whatever a little
yeah,
bit,
yes.
and then I got out of that, still working, and everything, but I didn't trust people much, especially men. Like I
Mm-hmm.
ain't want nobody looking at me. You at the store, hey, how you doing? Don't even look at me.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody reminded me of him, like
Mm-hmm.
yeah, like
Right? Like,
yeah, like don't even look at me. What you
don't.
looking at me for?
All right,
I'm
right.
good. Yeah, like
Mm-hmm.
nah, I'm all right. Don't. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, so I stayed to myself in that respect, I was like, I just was worried. And I was working from home then too. I brought my working home job home. So I was
Mm,
home. I worked from home.
yeah.
I
Right.
was home. I went to the store, whatever, and stuff like that. But,
Yeah.
went to church. Actually, I was still going to church online because I came back home and I actually wasn't ready to go back and see my church people just quite yet. I
Yeah.
was still dealing with all of that. So,
Yeah.
yeah, and you just
Mm-hmm.
survive.
I
Yeah.
know, right? I know, right?
Yeah.
So, in your new season, we're in
Mm-hmm.
new season, we're in new year, we doing some
Yeah,
new things,
that's
so and how are you what do you have planned for your new season besides she's already an author of 3 books, okay? Three
man.
books, right? She's an author, three, 1, 2, 3, right? And she has started her own expo extravaganza event. So what you got planned for this coming year, babies?
Yes, ma'am. I do. Thank you so much. Yes, we had the first one, the All Words Matter Black Author Expo. The first one went off with a bang. I was so like, I'd be honest, I was surprised and excited because I have planned other events through the years before COVID, and then I
Mm-hmm.
stopped.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, I stopped, for a while, and then so starting back, it was like, okay, is it gonna do right? It's gonna, people gonna come out, it's gonna be successful, and it was,
Yeah.
and I was so overjoyed.
Baby, I need your touch, unforgettable kisses. Your love's never too much, that's why I want all of the pieces.
All right, everyone. It has been a pleasure. It has been an honor. It has been all the things that we have been involved with today on Let's Talk Sunday. It was an honor talking with Miss Deborah Jefferson, and we want to support her in all the ways that she is. You can contact Miss Deborah Jefferson on Facebook, Instagram with Harobeds Thoughts. That is her name, her handle for Instagram, Harobeds Thoughts. And she also has a show, several shows that come on during the week. So go out and find Miss Deborah Jefferson on Facebook and Instagram, and you can become a part of our audience with her shows that she does about authors, helping authors gain exposure as well. So I want to thank everyone for coming in today for Let's Talk Sunday, and love yourself enough to know when to walk away. All right? I love everyone. I will talk to y'all next Sunday on Let's Talk Sunday. Bye, babies. Hello, and welcome to Let's Talk Sunday, where we talk about everything under the sun and nothing is off limits. Welcome to Let's Talk Sunday.